Ready. Welcome, Mr. DotPone. How are you doing today?
Welcome. This is
No,
weird.
this is my show now. I'm taking over it now. This is the Oh Snap by Fire Scorpio version.
This is weird.
It's weird to be on the interview chair, right?
Yeah, very
So,
weird.
um, this is a way of me. I think everyone's gonna really enjoy this. Of thanking you for creating this awesome show. I think it's just incredible how you've brought the community together around it and how many people you've introduced that just the human side of it. So one of the most amazing things about your show that I've just come to love and expect every week is the fact that the legendary stories, origin stories of the users of the virtual photographers are just amazing, right? We can talk about a few in a little while, but first of all, I would like you to start by telling me your own origin story.
I think from everyone, I have the most boring one. So back when Spider-Man was announced, there was like a trailer, I think, highlighting the photo mode, and I thought, oh, this is cool. This is probably the first game with a photo mode. I will try it when it comes out. And the day it came out, I took a spider selfie. I posted really recently on my Twitter again,
I saw it.
and I posted on Facebook back then. And after like 3 days, people were making fun of me because I was spamming Facebook with screenshots. And I thought, well, I have a Twitter that I created 2 years ago, and I never posted anything there. Let's just start posting. I started following a lot of the devs. The devs started retweeting people, video photographers, and since then I just posted at least one shot every single day for 2 years or so. So yeah, that's my origin story. I remember back then the person that I first saw, and a big shout out to her, is Louis Liu.
I
Leo's.
do not know her.
I I don't think I'm pronouncing her name right. Is Louis Liu, something like that.
Okay.
And big shout out to her. It was the first person that really, oh, virtual photography is cool. I should probably do this more often.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. And let's say like you always ask this question, and I want to follow that format of yours because it really helps out. But was Spider-Man your first photo mode game, or were you already on the hook before that? And if so, when or
Uh,
which
It,
game?
it, it was Spider-Man, but I finished Spider-Man with maybe 15 shots, something like that. Very little shots, and most of them were just trash. And and then I started Horizon Zero Dawn because it was like the big game that every virtual photographer was playing, and it was on my backlog. And back then virtual cam was really active on Twitter, and they had a challenge called Virtual Sun, where every Sunday there was a theme, and they would like give you a challenge. You would post only on Sunday from 9 to 9, 12 hours to post, and then they would make a Twitter moment with all the shots. And the first time that I saw the Virtual Sun hashtag, I didn't even did it correctly. I used it for random Horizon Zero Dawn pictures. But every week they would like do a challenge, and I would do it with Horizon Zero Dawn every single week. Even if I was playing another game, I would just put Horizon on and do shots for the challenge. Eventually, I did the same with Spider-Man, and then I moved to God of War a few months later because I had no idea that God of War had a photo mode.
And that's where the real origin story of DotPone begins, right?
Yeah.
Let me take you a little back, because just for this, I prepared like some special research on you. But
Whoa.
I've seen, I went through your Twitter as far as it would let me, and your Instagram, right? So
Whoa.
I've seen your progression from, you know, from just taking screenshots of things to actually composing images, right? So I would like, before we talk about that big moment, which is the God of War turnaround, I would like you to tell me, like, what was the thing? How was your process? How did you even notice the evolution? Have you even went back and revisited your old work to see how much you've evolved?
I go back all the time. Recently, uh, the Ford Focus had a contest with Horizon Zero Dawn for the anniversary, and I went back to look if I had some shots of it, and they were all really bad. So I decided to replay the game all over again and take more shots. And there is this one shot that I took. It's nothing special, but somehow it got to me, of Aloy with a hand behind
Stretching.
a machine. And tears came to my eyes when I composed that shot, because I was like, I see the evolution. I noticed that now I'm way better. I know how to do this. So yeah, it might not be a good shot, but I know how people work to do these kinds of shots. And that
Because
really got me emotional.
that's the thing with you. You're very contagious in the very good sense of the word. Like you have this way of getting into people's emotions, right? Because there are VPs out there who are strict out, like myself, like we are photographers and we are really good at things, but you you have this contagiousness of, in your work, that's just so wonderful, and I think people really respond to that, and I would like to touch a
This
little bit
is
on
you're making me blush right now.
I would like to talk a little bit on that, because you mentioned, right, you on our last conversation, I don't know if it's in the episode, but you were talking about the origin of DotPone, right, the name itself, and that's something that I think you take very well into your VP work, this personality of yours that's just fucking nice, man, and whenever I see your shots, I can help but smile, and I see and I understand that's why developers and everyone like reacts to it, because it's just there, the passion. And so I would like you to tell me, like, how do you know how this personality of yours works within your photos, or it's just something like, why even your nephew calls you Uncle Pone? Like, tell us about that. Everybody wants to know
Well, my I didn't have a very nice childhood. When I was a kid, I was the youngest of five, and I had my first niece when I was 9. And after that, now I have 15
that.
uh,
Okay.
nieces and nephews. So
Uncle
I'm
Pone.
I'm the youngest of a really big family. But I was always the geeky one, the nerd, the one that was like the black sheep of the family, because I like superheroes. I like uh, nerdy things. And one of the ways that I found to escape from my personal problems was writing. So I didn't have much money, but I had a notebook and a pen, so I could write stories. And back then, when I was like maybe 8 9, I just started to learn how to write, and I wrote this like 5-page story about a land that of letters. So it was like to teach kids how to read. I found that experience, me learning how to read, very nice. So I wanted to like write a fantasy with knights and princesses and dragons. The D was a dragon.
Okay.
That one I remember perfectly, because dragon is really similar in Portuguese. And I when I delivered it to my teacher, she was really happy, and it showed that she was like proud. So I always follow that feeling to that that she showed me. I always, with everything that I do, I want to make other people proud, not just myself. I want to see happiness in other people. Then a few years later, uh, I was bullied. I had a health issue that made me stay with in hospitals most of the time. So I was really skinny. I am nowadays, but back then I was really skinny. And bullies would love that, just love that, because, well, a
Yeah,
skinny
bullies take
geeky
an
guy.
excuse.
Yeah. And one of the names that they would call me, that something that I want to refer, it means absolutely nothing. It was a made up name that they came up and they noticed that it made me feel bad, so they would just use it. Is pone. Pone is actually something that they would use to hurt me. And after a while, I was really down because that was like my nickname around school now. But after a while, I came to accept it, and my friends would like call me Pone, but they would like, they didn't notice that it was something that hurt me. And after me and my brother, we shared like 1 year age difference, so it's really like 1 year and 2 months, something like that. My mom was breastfeeding my brother while pregnant with me, so you can imagine that
Okay.
our our friends, our circle of friends is the same because we are
Yeah.
basically the same age. And he started calling me Pone around the house.
And everybody started calling you Poe.
And then my mother started calling me Pone. And then my nephews started calling me Pone. And nowadays it's basically everyone calls me Pone, and I accepted it because when it came time to like do a online nickname, I went with Titus from Final Fantasy X. No one called me Titus, I wish. And then I changed it to DotPone. I'm a big Dot hack from the PlayStation 2 era games fan, and then I
Shout-
blended together with Pone, and basically nowadays Pone is just like my. No one tells let's go to Ruben's place. It's let's go to
to
Pone's
Dot
place.
Pones. Yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, I'm sorry, we don't swear on this show.
You, oh, you can swear. You can fucking swear. I fucking swear. I don't swear because the usually the guests don't swear, but I swear all the time.
Okay.
Something that you mentioned it, and I didn't thought before, is Neko from My Hero Academy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uses
yeah.
Neko because yeah, it's the same.
It was just what I was gonna say. Like, it's a really cool origin story, and I really wanted you. I wanted to force you to tell that because we talked about it, but off screen last time, and I think it's a wonderful story because it just shows the way that you adapt and you evolve, and that you bring it that same niceness, that same humanity, that same kindness that you have, which allowed you to turn something horrible into something beautiful and own it for yourself and make it something positive. I think that's exactly what developers see in your work, and everybody, the huge community. I think everybody gets like this feeling that it's just nice to see whenever you tweet. It's just nice, and I
It's
see it every
funny.
single time because
It's
it's
so
just
funny
contagious.
that you are mentioning it because I never, until very recently, I never connected my love for storytelling to virtual photography. But now that you are mentioning it, I had someone ask me recently, why do I post my shots in chronological order? So basically, from the moment that it happens in the game, I like my last shot is probably from the end game, and my first shot is from the start of the game. And it's getting to me. It's because I love storytelling. It's because that's the way I do things in my personal life. Never never thought of it.
Well, there you have it, folks. It's the first time an exclusive on No Snap. What I also wanted to ask you because I've been inching towards that. It's Then came the God of War. That's really your breakout moment. That's really the moment that I feel, at least, unless you want to correct me. Um, that feels like there's a moment before and after for DotPone. Like before, you were already loved by the community, but after that, you became the DotPone. And then we're gonna talk about your recent win on the PlayStation contest. But first, let's start. Let's start with that God of War moment because I think everybody needs to know what happened there.
With God of War was the first God of War was the first game that I bought on launch day. Like I saw the trailers back then. It was like maybe on old computer with a CD-ROM that someone had with a lot of trailers of video games. They put it on the school desktop, and I was blown away by God of War. So I started saving money, and came launch day. My sister gave me the game, so I got to keep the money that I saved, and I got a new game. I spent it on Tekken 5, so I
Okay.
got two games from for that experience. But I finished the game in one sitting with my best friend. The second
Okay.
game, it was the same thing, one sitting with my best friend. When the third game came around, that didn't happen because, well, life and adulthood. It was university back then, but and so when it came time to play it, the new one for the PS4, I wasn't expecting something great. I didn't even bought it on launch, and that's one of the things that I regret doing it, because I would love to get my hands on a collector's edition. I'm always scoring the internet for a collector's edition.
Hashtag let's get
And
dot a collector's edition.
I wish I would cry. So with Virtual Sun, there was a challenge back then of like scenery, and it was the same week that I started playing God of War, and my mind was blown away by the scenery of that game. Like everything looks fucking beautiful. You can take
It's
you
big.
can you just need to pause the game, spin the camera, and there you have it, a fucking great screenshot.
Yeah.
And I started doing a series called the World of God of War because of that, and where I would just like with no composition at all, like take screenshots. And I started noticing that people on Twitter like that, and I got some attention not from devs but from bigger VPs back then. Back then I had like 200 followers maybe. So bigger people would comment, and I would ask for advice, and there it came and this is so rewarding. This was so rewarding to me. There was like I think it was like 2 months after I started the series, I was posting my half-time shots, and I spent a while there to really capture the beauty. And the moment that I posted, I got a retweet from Corey. Like the
Yay.
moment, like the same second. It was my first retweet from any kind of developer. And I remember being on the bus home, and I started crying. Like tears started crying. And then I arrived home. My girlfriend, is everything okay? Oh, Corey just retweeted my, oh, you're so happy. I started making dinner, and then he commented on the post, and I started crying again. And I remember back then I took screenshots of everything, and I was like, I can't believe Corey retweeted. I can't believe he commented. And people were like, that's fucking amazing. Like the reaction that a simple retweet from a dev can have with in a person. And I'm always chasing that high. Like always, every time a developer, big or small, it can be Cory Barlog or like the QA tester. I always feel this rush, like I can't believe someone in the team actually is noticing my work, because I do what I do in big part to thank the developers for doing the games, to show the beauty where we talked about it, like to show the little details. People didn't know that you could get really into the big word in God of War, and those kinds of things that maybe 10%, 5% of the people will see. It's what I do what I do because of that, to to show the small details in the games.